hero. Anti-Mage
yeah.
comes to mind. What if he does get banned? What do you think they pick?
The other thing is it could be a Silo Storm. He plays quite a bit of Storm. If they want to pick a Templar Assassin for mid, is a possibility. That to me is one of the stronger heroes. So there's anti-mage ban. So now LGD have to think, is there some other safe lane carry we can run? I think Storm is one of the better safe lane heroes.
This we did not expect. Gods, you have called Sylar the best Lycan in China, if not the world, many a time.
He's insane on this hero.
Hal with a Storm Spirit can be quite nice as well. A lot of bonus damage coming out. Goes well with the Dazzle. We just don't see much Lycan. I think one team has run it in the tournament.
Navi did it,
actually.
Lycan Brood, I believe it was, in one game.
He's only been picked once or maybe a handful of times, but definitely not. You wanted carry diversity. LGD delivering it.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
I wonder why this game for the Lycan. There's quite a bit of control.
Like LGD is kind of guaranteed top 2. They can probably mix things up a bit, and there is talked about it earlier today and yesterday. It's like there's some merit in quote unquote experimenting, or not really experimenting, but trying heroes which you think are viable, but you're not entirely sure. So you can really try it and apply it in a competitive match, because otherwise you're just kind of basing it on your scrims, which maybe aren't the same as a TI5 group stage match.
It is the Darkseer in the end. So.
Surprise there.
Yep. Navi with the massive combo. If LGD won a 5-man Navi have the horses to take that fight. Now, will they have the execution? That remains to be seen. You can't accuse this team of lacking in the 5v5 department.
Yeah, so tough game for a Lycan. There's a lot of control, tons of damage output coming from Navi. The one thing they are somewhat lacking is that pick-off potential. A Blink or a Shaker can offer that a bit against the Lycan with the Blink Echo Slam, with maybe with anyone following up, a Queen of Pain, whatever it may be. But if Lycan wants to split push, it's a pretty good game for that.
There is some space creation available from these other heroes as well. The Storm can really open up the map quite a bit, and Navi probably not coming online too much in the early laning stage. This is a very level-dependent team. Even looking to the off-lane Darkseer, he needs a lot of farm before he truly comes into his own. So from their side of things, it may be slow, and for LGD, pretty much the same. This may not be quite as active of an early game, but the hero that could mix things up for LGD, most likely the Yao Tusk.
Yep. And something LGD like to do is they run Sylar in the mid lane on Lycan, which it looks like will be the case. Maybe on Storm is going for that Soul Ring rush, so it will be Sylar going mid against the Queen of Pain.
All right, with that, welcome in everybody who's watching on the various live streaming platforms. I'm LD, I'm joined here by Gods and Wepis. It's time for Navi versus LGD, game number 2. LGD with a win here. They will ensure that at the very least they're tied with Secret for first in Group A, going down the stretch. Guaranteed top 2 at this point, it seems, with this additional point, or all but guaranteed, as long as they continue to get at least a tie in the next series, and they look good. They took care of Navi in game 1. Completely different draft from both teams, though. Navi, they got 5v5'd a lot last game, and, well, the response is gigantic team fight. They get a support Shaker, the offlane Darkseer. We've seen this Disruptor Darkseer Gyro trio before. Can be devastating, but they need their levels. They need time to come online, and it's LGD who mixed things up. They bust out the Storm Spirit as well with the Lycanthrope. 2 heroes that we haven't seen out of them that much, especially the Lycan. Used to be a go-to, a staple for LGD Gods, but as of late, hasn't really been a hero they favor very much.
Yeah, and it won't be an easy matchup against the Queen of Pain. I imagine the support, probably in the form of the Dazzle, will be spending some time mid, kind of babysitting him, maybe throwing poison touches towards the Queen of Pain, giving some Shadow Wave heals as Sylar needs it. But for now, it will just be Xiao Wei body blocking the mid wave and trying to make sure Sylar has any edge he can get against Dendy's Queen of Pain.
Yeah, the Lycan mid does get early levels if he's left alone. Like you said, Xiao Wei will be here early for a bit of harassment. Already throwing out the Slave, and with the Howl damage coming out, this is going to put Dendy into a defensive posture. Not really much the Shaker can do to assist here, unless that Lina gets cut out of position. Just going to be there in case they really get active.
Yeah, and just the Lina being there gets Sylar the first 2 denies as well as the first 2 last hits, so that's already like a mini victory for LGD, and that's the purpose of having this pseudo dual lane mid.
And once you get your early levels on a Lycan with the Quelling Blade as well, 71 damage here, plus you've got the additional bonus damage from the Quelling Blade, and that's when the Howl is gone. When the Howl's up, he's going to be nearly impossible to outlast hit for Dendy, unless he can zone him out. So you can see where this could be a tough lane for a lane dominator like a Queen of Pain.
Yeah, the Radiant offlane Yao on the Tusk is going to have his work cut out against a Gyro Disrupt. Have to be very cautious against the Glimpse here. Otherwise, there's a lot of kill potential coming out from Na'Vi up top.
They have the Glimpse, like you said.
They got the D ward mid, by the way. A Radiant Sentry ward spotted. Well, spots the Observer ward, which was freshly planted by the Earthshaker in the mid lane.
That's big. Keeps him a little bit more in the dark as he rotates towards the top side of the map. You can see both teams have their offlane wards still going and giving good vision of support rotations. No pulls blocked off, though, at least not initially. So all those creeps do spawn. And as you can see, although we haven't seen the Sylar Lycan at all at TI, it is a staple for him. He used to play this hero, it felt like almost every game. Lycan has received quite a few changes. Other heroes have really risen to prominence, but God, I still have terrifying flashbacks to the age of Lycan first pick, 58%, 60% win rate every game. Didn't matter where you could jungle from level 1 and people would come to you and you just kill them with the wolves.
I think it was when like Secret were first formed and Arteezy would just play Lycan like 20 games in a row or something, and it was even back on EG when he was playing Lycan constantly as well. It was
at one point it was so bad with the old wolves because your level 1 jungle was really strong that at level 1, the enemy supports would come in with a pack of observers and sentries, and they'd block 4 camps. But mid lane, Sylar, no jungle for you, sir. The chase is on. Dendy already low here. They try to finish him up with the wolves, so keeps him alive.
Dendy.
And they turn on Dendy, the tower shot. He's going to step up, but they can munch him down. One more auto attack. He's dead. Dendy, please. Oh, what a disaster for Na'Vi. Good wolf micro there. Na'Vi really thought they had him. I actually thought he was going to turn the wolves on him sooner. I was wondering why he didn't, but it seems that's why he baits Dendy in further, and then when Dendy blinks, then he sicks the wolves on him, and Dendy's already committed. He couldn't back at that point. Huge play by Sylar in the mid lane, and it's normally the opposite. You see that shaker rotation, if that's a squishier mid, something like Leshrac, you get that first blood, but this is Lycan, a very tanky hero.
That's a huge pickup to have on Lycan. A first blood gets him boots and bottle. Dendy, meanwhile, just sitting on... has he got a bottle? He's just sitting... I was about to say, he's gone for the boots before the bottle even. And you kind of need it a little bit to outrun the wolves. You need what move speed you can get, because those wolves really hit hard. They're squishy as little kittens, but they hit hard.
And this is the nice thing about the Lycan mid, is you can quickly rotate into the jungle, still giving How to your team. And you don't really have to sit around and wait for the waves. In a lot of ways, like a Shadow Fiend mid. He doesn't clear a huge stack the same way, but can always find that little bit of extra farm. Underrated, I would say, for this position. And he's going to hit level 6 quickly with that kill.
Yeah.
Once he gets the ultimate, good luck catching him. But I like what Funnick's doing here, Gods. He's gotten into the LGD jungle. He's farming the stacks that have already been formed, and they really don't want to be giving this up. But he's got an Invisor, and they can't see him. I don't think there's any detection in the neighborhood.
Sentry's already there.
Oh, no, they have one. They're going to make their go on Funnick. He can back up, but he really wants to be an experience rage for this. Oh, he won't have a chance. I think he was out of it there, so
and
maybe gets a lot of gold.
Yeah, most of the last hit went the way of LGD. Darkseid didn't get too much out of it.
It is still space created, though, for the rest of Na'Vi. It's 5 heroes who rotate in. They even abandon the bottom lane. Now Yao and Xiao journeying back. And where do they want to go here? Swinging up the ramp towards the north. They get an Observer Ward, clearing the high ground. And now Snowball in on the Dendy. Does he have the blink back? Yes, sir. And he will retreat. So the smoke ends up being a bit of a waste. Good defensive play there by Na'Vi, who also are stacking their own jungle. Can already see that this is why they're B for... Well, actually, they've got 3 heroes that can use the stacks. Dendy, the Darkseer for Funnick, or even that Havost Gyrocopter.
See which way it goes. And maybe they just look for that super farm Gyrocopter. I'll have to see what they have in mind. But hard to get in the Queen of Pain there. It's one of those things where you're hoping that he just doesn't react to the snowball. And if that clips him, Lena's done it. It is a kill. But Dendy about to hit level 6. And now the kill potential from his side amps up. And that's something LGD are going to be careful of this time around.
Uh-oh. It's again LGD on the offensive. Double Sentry Wards planted by the Dire side. Uh-oh.
They were both planted by Sneeko.
Bit of a miscue there. Yeah. He might break the smoke, though. He's in good position, but already balling up his maybe. Drops the Remnant, and, well, the shards are going to block the other retreat. Maybe with a poor jump there. Doesn't end up getting over the shards, but won't matter.
Looks like he smokes mid just because Sylar was planning on rotating off the lane anyways. So I'd say Storm rotating in like this is not the most efficient thing.
They're farming the stack. They're stealing these Dire neutrals. It's stat wars. We saw this from Secret. They did it to LGD in game 1, and it's now going to be LGD taking it to Na'Vi in game 2. This old dog learning some new tricks here, Gods, and that is a big spike of gold. Not only what LGD gets, but what Na'Vi won't.
LGD are just really good in the lane stage right now at spreading their resources. Sometimes they struggle and fall behind in the early game, but this time around they've got Lycan in the jungle. Dazzle takes over the bottom lane to get farm and XP. Lina as a support's getting XP in the mid lane. They're just spreading the wealth, something which sometimes they kind of don't really do, but this makes their mid game just a little bit scarier when they start grouping up as 5 around that kind of 10 to 20 minute stage of the game.
It's true. I think if you look at LGD, and you mentioned Secret, but even comparing them to a lot of teams, their supports don't tend to get much farm priority. Even Yao in the offlane often not give him much. MMY a little bit, but you compare the level of farm he's going to get to, say, what Kuroki does, and it's usually not a whole lot. But this time around, hey, if you can take the enemy resources, you're accomplishing both goals. You're not only getting your own farm, but you're slowing down Na'Vi. LGD back to the woods for Sylar. What do you expect from him? Is it just going to be that standard Vlad's build up, a lot of jungle time? Do we see any early tower pressure? What's the game plan for the Lycan pick here, Gods?
The real question is normally like whether you go for the Necro 3 or not. It's an item to me which it's hard to always justify picking it up. It seems like very hit or miss. If it works, you take a lot of towers, you snowball, you win the game fast, but when it's not working, it's a complete waste of 5k gold. So it's a bit safer to go for more of a BKB Deso or just a BKB AC type build. And I think more of a fighting Lycan type build is the kind of safer way to build it.
It's interesting because it used to be that Necro 1 and 2 were much worse, but the item was built every game. But
yeah.
Nowadays, with towers being quite a bit different than they used to, we just don't see as much of that pushing style. Funnick trapped in the ice shards, nicely done by Yao. Doesn't have his ultimate yet, though, but they're going to bring in the Lycan. The Wolf Parade arrives, and Funnick is chewed up. Might not look like Little Red Riding Hood, but he sure dies like one. And while that was happening, Dendi does get on the board, finds a kill on Xiao Wei. That is some much-needed experience of gold going his way. He did not get what you looked for out of the Queen of Pain out of the mid lane.
Yeah, there's a Sonic Wave to kill the support Lina there, so worthwhile when you're behind like this, but it does give LGD a 2-minute window where, okay, there's no Sonic Wave. If we want to pressure some towers, we know that the Na'Vi defense is not going to be as strong. Even the wall was used, so this is a pretty big window. 1 minute without the wall and about a minute and a half now without a Sonic Wave. They can really pressure some towers if they want to, but at the same time, they haven't really got a lineup geared for doing so just yet. They haven't completed the Vlads yet on Sylar. Storm's still working on really even looking at treads at the moment, so we're still very early on, and LGD don't normally look to take objectives until they kind of reach some more core levels and core items.
And still a very even game here at 9 minutes. Score 3-1. It looked like LGD was starting to cobble together a bit of a lead, but with that kill and just good farm, spread more evenly across the Na'Vi heroes, it evens out, and we'll have to see when the first big moves come out here. Na'Vi, as we talked about, just a disgusting team fight, really. Like, fighting 5v5 into that is ever so difficult, but not quite there yet. Looking for a lot of their level 6s. The Queen of Pain all the way down. Shaker not there yet. Disruptor not there yet. They're happy to have this personal time to just get their levels and get ready for those big climactic team fights.
Talking about how LGD were giving some space for the supports, Na'Vi have gone one step ahead with Saniku. He's already up to 1,300 gold on Earthshaker. He's completely taken over the safe lane.
Well, LGD want to punish that. Xiao 8 moving in. They have a smoke going. It's maybe Enyao. But they are going to walk into 3 heroes, and Havost will be one of them. Not the easiest takedown unless they get the snowball pull combo, and they get both. And Bo's Walrus Punch. No chance for him. The Fisher even came out. That was an awful quick reaction by Sanico, but a brutal assassination. No chance to react.
Sanico's probably like, thank God that wasn't me. I'm almost at my blink dagger, but the gyrocopter, the more valuable target for LGD to pick up, and now they grouped as 3 at top. They have to be a bit careful. They haven't got all that many numbers here.
This combination, the store. Oh, there you go. Denny looking for the turret. He does manage to take down the Tusk, maybe. Balling to dodge that Scream. And now retreating out. He doesn't have a TP, though. He commits all of his mana for the jump out. A little bit more from the Soul Rain, and he gets down to the low ground. Dendi has the blink. It's going to be tough to catch up. Oh, he's so close.
He sees how low he is.
He's so close. This is beyond frustrating. It's never going to happen, Dendi.
Oh, no.
Oh, that hurts.
You blink and you see him and you're just like, man, this is where if Dendi had had a better start, he would be at least level 9, maybe probably level 10. have a few more points in the blink, and
then he could go for it.
Yeah.
It would be risky, maybe he dies, but if you kill the Storm there, it would be worth it. Not the case, though. Still, overall, they get the Tusk.
Bottom lane, MMY is stranded. There's no tier 1 tower here.
Dendi going in, making his move forward with Artstyle. In support, has the Grave, and gets it at the perfect moment. Now the TP out back will cancel it, but he stalls as long as possible. MMY gonna go down. Artstyle will take that. Na'Vi, not flummoxed in the slightest, just continue to play aggressive, and again, it's the Storm of Maybe. Moving in, Laguna secures it. Chowie collects his freebie. Back and forth we go, 6-3 the score. Not a crazy amount of action, but both teams constantly looking for the pickoffs.
Yeah, and for LGD, I think they recognize the fact that Saniko is spending far too much time in lane for their liking towards his Blink Dagger. He's sitting on 1,800 gold now, so probably was a bit over 2,000 when he died. Very close to a Blink Dagger. And
how much do you think the Blink does? He's only level 6 here.
It's not going to be a huge game changer immediately. It's definitely something which will help Na'Vi long term, but maybe a pick off here or there on someone like Siler. Like one pick off on Lycan, and you've just justified all the space you give the Earthshaker. And I think it's the item you need to kind of be able to initiate on Siler with a Blink Echo.
Tower will drop. Sylar starting to accelerate his own push as they surge in. Havos looking to go in. Yao, does he have something to snowball to? He needs it quickly. There is a Grave available. Fissure coming out. He snowball dodges and goes back in on Havos, who's been left to the wolves, quite literally, moving in towards him. And now they hunt down Artstyle. They continue pursuit. Phonic on the run. Shawait going for the cutoff here. He's got a Laguna ready. Could almost insta-give Dendi if he's not careful. One more auto attack. There's the disengage from the Fissure. A Queen of Pain from Dendi just to kill 2 Lycan wolves. That's not what they need. And that's going to be it. Oh, Na'Vi. Where has the old magic gone? They just don't have it right now, gods.
Well, Na'Vi may be back, but the magic's not back yet, LD. Tier 2 tower at top, getting pressured, and LGD just such great control over this game. They get down 2 deep wards in the enemy jungle, one even hovering near the mid lane. Very hard for them to engage on anything at this point. Even with this big team fight wombo combo going, they need their initiating items. They need the Blink Daggers. They need some way of getting in there. Darkseid doesn't even have the completed mech yet.
Even once he gets it, it's going to be tough. LGD are so mobile on 3 of these heroes. The Tusk, the Storm, the Lycan. It feels like they could just disengage if they don't have the right opportunities. Na'Vi really, I mean, for Na'Vi, the dream scenario is if they just group up as 5, walk down mid, you've got your mech, you get a good Blink Echo, you combo with the Vat, call down comes through. Like, that sounds absolutely
just
devastating.
Talk to LGD, be like, look, we're going to go down mid as 5, guys. Can you just meet us there as 5, like, grouped up a little bit?
You know when you're pubbing and, like, 2 players are fighting, there's some team losing, and the guy's like, 1v1 me in the Roche pit, dude. I'm going to own you. Nobody ever obliges.
Just need to start throwing out some fake GGs and
here we go.
LGD
Fissure. This is the combo play that Na'Vi are searching for. Maybe gets Grave. Looks like he will end up going down here in the end. Clips back. No, he falls out. Don't tell me he lives. Maybe. Oh, they gotta finish him off. This is beyond infuriating for Na'Vi. But they do get 2. It's just not the ideal candidate. God, they would have loved to take down that Storm.
It's so hard. Once he's graved, it's like, unless you can chainsaw him doing that grave, he still had so much mana left, he's almost guaranteed to be able to get that ball lightning off.
They had everything there. They had the static storm, the kinetic field, Fissure, call down. They threw the whole kitchen sink at him, and they got him. But, hey, shallow grave.
Still the kind of fight they were looking for. They get a couple of kills. They regroup a little bit, and from here they've de-warded their jungle as well. They've at least taken out one of the wards here. Their vision around their own jungle in this top lane is fantastic, and that's where LGD have been spending a lot of time when they've been 5-manning. LGD have to be careful this next kind of 3 to 4 minutes. If they try and make plays around the top side of the map, Na'Vi could have their number with their team fight getting scarier and scarier, as well as the Blink Dagger being up on Earthshaker.
And it is going to be the Necro build here for Sylar. Already picked up the Necro 1. He's hit level 12, just turbo farming the woods, 120 CS, and this is not a hero that farms stacks quite the way a Gyro or a Shadow Fiend does, but he does it through raw damage rather than AoE. Keeping the lead now. He'll be the pushing engine, and you can see Sylar starting to split push a little more. Seems like with the Blink online, Na'Vi about to get their mech. This may be where LGD changed up the game plan a little bit. Stop going for the group up and fight, and start going for the split push. But Na'Vi have other ideas. They're on the smoke. Moving down through the river. They find an illusion
bottom. They could get lean if they head that direction, but maybe looking for a bigger prize in the Lycan, hoping that they can catch Sylar in the jungle.
Mid. They're looking for it. The MMY tucked away, though. He's in a really tough spot to get at him.
They don't find the Lycan. Unfortunately, Sylar was at the Ancients when they made this expedition.
And he is going to be scouting with the Wolves now. He doesn't see the smoke gank, though. Oh, he might catch them retreating out.
I don't know if they've even seen MMY. He TP'd to the tier 2. He knows exactly what's going on and where Na'Vi are. When you make a TP like that, you just go a small distance.
This is... it brings back memories. These Wolves just always giving vision, and potentially even later on can use them as a launching pad for boots of travel.
A resmoke, though. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but they're headed towards top.
Well, they're going to fight mid. Funny getting caught out.
It's a fake push. They're looking to initiate top. Saniko's going to go for a Blink Echo Slam, but he's too late. He tried to get there to defend with the smoke.
They go on mid instead. They're going to take the tier 1 down. But it's a tier 1 for a tier 2, and maybe closes in on the Bloodstone.
They've got the Observer Ward.
Commitment here. They have
Blink
to completely change stun him, or he will just fall away. No! Maybe finish the camp too soon. There's the Yules. Echo at the ready. They've got just a split second here. Saniko on the chase. He's out of mana now. Has the TP scroll. I think they got him with the next fissure, but they have to make sure this connects. Blink will keep the vision on him. He balls out trying to dodge, but he can't. And they finally corral that pesky Storm.
When that fissure missed, like, my heart just stopped. And, like, he's going to get away from another, like, 4-man gank. Like, how is this possible? But
oh, jeez.
If he had gotten away, then Na'Vi would just be, like, on tilt. And
it's just one of those games where you don't have that much lockdown for Storm. It's really just the Blink Echo. Your Glimpse Static Storm sounds nice, but haven't had the vision for it most of the time. And you could just, it's just frustrating if you're on the other side and you're Na'Vi, but finally they're able to bring him down. I don't think he spent his gold before he died there, so it will delay the Bloodstone quite a bit.
Didn't have any way of, I guess, well, needed the courier at the secret shop if he wants to spend money. And for LGD, they're slowing down quite a bit here. They haven't been gaining momentum. They haven't really taken a big farm advantage outside of Sylar, so they do have, and I think they're really respecting the team fight of Na'Vi right now. They're not looking to get aggressive on the map like they'd normally do. 15 to 20 minutes is normally where LGD reigns supreme. They're 5-manning, they're taking towers, they're smoking a lot, but right now instead, they're playing defensively and farming as passively as they can. Sylar was farming the Ancients, not his own jungle when Na'Vi were missing, because he had protection there and his jungle was a complete unknown factor. He does not feel safe moving out on this map with his team.
Yeah, normally the rap on LGD is they only play one way because they're a Xiao 8 team. You know, they like to just 5-man, group up and fight, but we see their ability to adapt here, and it's definitely the right way to go, given the nature of the dress for this stage. Maybe once they get some BKBs, could be in the offing for Sylar, and eventually, for maybe, then perhaps they look towards the bigger, larger scale team fights, but like you said, just very risky to go in for the larger 5v5 right now.
Wolves will come on through and scout out Na'Vi at the Ancients here, but this is the key here for LGD, is use the vision that these Wolves provide. It can allow them to...
They had the ward mid. They saw 2 and they're smoking. Yep. They have the Yules now as well in Xiao 8. Could be the tool to initiate. Saniko has a Blink Dagger, but if he gets caught by Xiao 8,
Storm.
He's not going anywhere. Blink out just in time. Yep. Oh, and Xiao 8's revealed. Saniko, Spidey senses a tingling, does make it out. But Yao still wants to go in on this.
I think
double Observer Ward here as one is about to expire, so they have plenty of vision towards mid.
You're fighting a scary team fight. Storm not there. Storm finishing his Bloodstone at the top lane, which is fine. And I think the idea was find a solo pick off and then get out. They realized that 3 heroes were the Ancients, so while they were nearby the mid lane, they felt like they could get a quick pick off and make their way up. But Saniko, like you said, Fast Fingers gets out of there, and LGD just going to have to be forced to go back to that defensive farming nature right now.
It honestly kind of reminds me of those TI3 games where you'd see like a Magnus and just a art carry melee hero, where that's how LGD are approaching this one. It's one big misstep, we get team wiped by this combo. So let's, like you said, find the pick off. Don't go in on 5, not right now. Once Storm gets a BKB, once we have a couple of additional items on the Lycan, then maybe we can force these fights. But now is not their time. They're looking for Get bottom, trying to hunt out Funnick. Didn't see him though. He just made into the trees. He surges out. He backs in. He jumps the wall. There's the Echo. Xiao 8 dead in an instant, and in a blink, so too is now. But Sylar says screw it, rushes in, deploys his Necro Book, now decides to back out very fast as MMY tanks the Queen of Pain all one by one. LGD getting picked off and pulled apart. They'll end up losing 3. Didn't have the Storm there, probably wouldn't have mattered. Obviously, what looks like a very slight opening, and they just go for it.
Fantastic play. Funnick managed to hide from the trees as Zhao came out, so he had no idea where the Darkseid was. Darkseid calls for the TPs, and they just pounce. They get 2 kills instantly, and then LGD think, okay, we can go in and fight. They just use all their ultimates, which was true, but they still didn't have the firepower. The Necro 3s just weren't really that potent in the fight.
Their jungle, they have found him again, maybe? Oh, the Fissure just late.
Yep.
Didn't have the Echo follow-up, but they did have a glimpse. Might have been able to catch him with that.
Maybe he'll TP himself towards bottom, and Funnick does need to be a bit careful down here.
This game looking a whole lot more stable for Na'Vi, and they just have a lot more ways to catch heroes out. Last game, it was really just Artstyle and the Disruptor as the source of their team fighting control, but this time the Suniko Earthshaker, to some extent even the Funnick Darkseer, and now much more so as he gets the Blink. This used to be one of Funnick's really big heroes. TI3 again, I don't know if you recall that 3 or 4 hero vacuum onto the Dire Cliff in their jungle. Oh, that was a thing of beauty. Funnick's looking for that once more.
He's had ones like that around the Roshan pit countless times as well, where he'll vacuum people onto the cliff.
They want to fight bottom. Do they have the ultimate cooldowns on time? Echo Slam is up at 50. No Quap ult. They don't have either big ult. Do you think they can fight this without either?
It's risky. They'll look to like chip and poke around, but I don't think they'll look for a full engage.
There's the back into a static storm. Kinetic field. Oh, just maybe though. Who stands his ground for now? Can he ball out of here in time? Bloodstone deny? No. He makes his way out. They try to glimpse him back in, and he's still going to survive in the end. Oh, they were close to wrangling him, gods, but just good defensive support play. The tower is denied. Na'Vi able to at least get that.
Well, so I definitely showed that it was worth a shot for Na'Vi. That vacuum static storm, they said we don't need all our ultimates, we just need like 1 or 2. A static storm, that'll do it. They had the wall as well, so they said no Sonic Wave, no Echo, no problem. Unfortunately, they just couldn't quite kill the storm because of the defensive support, but it still feels like that was a justifiable a hold attempt from Na'Vi.
And it also puts the fear of God in LGD.
Yeah.
That next time, if they have the Echo, if they have the Queen of Pain ult, and we go there, and more than one hero gets caught, God forbid it's the Dazzle, you're in a lot of trouble.
I mean, LGD weren't even close to going for a kill or finding a kill that fight, whereas Na'Vi were just inches away from killing a Storm Spirit.
Xiaowei is hunting. He is going to try to find a Boast here. Gets the Yule Scepter off. Is there any sort of backup coming in for the Gyrocopter? Doesn't have the BKB pulled on just yet, but Xiaowei gets countered, initiated upon. Now they snowball, bringing him into the fray, looking for the Laguna on Havos. They zap him down. Now the Grave on Xiaowei. Excellent defensive support play. Glimpsing back, maybe take him out of the fight. Xiaowei healed. Then Mac, they just can't kill this Lina. Looks like a carry by how much HP he's constantly being given. And in the end, a 2 for nothing. Well, Na'Vi, as strong as they are, it's 5. If they get caught out 1 by 1, they do melt.
Yeah, they weren't grouped up and ready for that one. I think that was just some surprising LGD aggression. Like, they just went diving in, hoping for the best. And out of this, Roshan is the goal, and something that Na'Vi, if 2 dead, can't really contest.
When you are running a gigantic team fight combo like this, the worst thing to have to deal with is a second life. Rain King used to be a great counter pick to big AoE team fights for exactly that reason, and Aegis now comes out for the Storm. Obviously, like, not a great Aegis carry, but Storm amazing for this, so now they got to find a way to kill maybe twice.
This is a Storm who's getting scary and scary. This guy has been the player of this TI so far. I would say...
I would agree.
The standout player. As far as individual skill and talent goes, probably him and Arteezy have been the 2 standout individual players. Arteezy gets overshadowed by the fact that he's on a team of star players who also play amazingly.
Everyone expected it out of Arteezy.
Yeah.
I don't think many people, certainly not from the Western scene, expected of maybe. Some have seen what he's done on LGD, but he's never played on, well, I wouldn't call it the big stage yet as far as the environment, but as far as the quality of competition, it certainly is.
He also gets the edge because he was the orchestrated a big comeback. Secret haven't had to have a big comeback yet. Well, the games they were behind, they lost.
Are you challenging Arteezy?
Yeah, look, well, challenging Secret, they got to get behind, and then Arteezy's got to, I don't know, power his way through a comeback.
To shy away from a challenge.
He's going to have a big 10k gold Ember Spirit comeback.
You what, mate?
Arteezy are going to play Ember Spirit? What? I don't think that's in our hero pool.
That's something EG get to do now that they didn't used to with Sumail now on the field. I'm sure they'll give Arteezy a hard time for it, but man, he makes up for it with his other heroes. Back to the mid lane.
Wait for the grand finals, LD. Arteezy will pull it out.
Back to the mid lane. Call down coming through. Both instantly BKBing, but it's an air ball. This is going to make this tower defense quite a bit trickier. Sylar did ultimate. They're going to glimpse him back to slow down the push for about half a second. He's right back in, and out he goes. LGD, no full commit here, but they know with the BKB and the cooldown both used, there is a chance. Na'Vi still want to fight this, though. They feel like they might be able to take the engagement anyway, and so they glyph. Out come the shards, scouting more than anything. No Lycan ult either. Oh, they're going for it. Back. There you go. Now the wall, the snowball used. They didn't catch anything with that. No Static Storm or Kinetic Field, and now they ball in. Static Storm was waiting for this, but he already blinked his way out of this one, or yeah, actually able to walk his way out. Art Style, the first man down. Sylar going to BKB, and in they go for more. They get the killing spree, and it's tough to hit that combo reliably when you're outside your base and just not able to find the opening. Now a ball in. Baby has the Aegis, rushes in. Havos no BKB, down for the count. The push continues in earnest. Dendy, Yule's ready soon. Back, Echo, Guapo, the combo plays from Na'Vi. Just when you think you're safe, they find the kills, but there's still an Aegis here. Sylar's still alive. They're not done just yet. They'll have a second life for the Storm here. Might be able to go back in on Sinico. Sylar was really thinking about it. They're going to work on the racks. Oh boy. If only they had everything else. If they had the wall there, the Static Storm ready to go as well.
If they had the gyrocopter. Oh.
My kingdom for a full team fight. That's the war cry by Na'Vi. Oh, they might find MMY here, though.
And that's where LGD just played that smart. They chipped away. They forced Na'Vi to commit like a BKB or the vacuum wall, and then they went in when they knew it was fairly safe. They just underestimate a bit the killing potential of a few ultimates. They're like, okay, they're missing half their ultimates, we can push, but half their ultimates, in that case, what, a vacuum, Sonic Wave and Echo Slam was enough. They didn't need cooldown, they didn't need wall. They had two others.
Honestly, I think if you're LGD here, overall you're kind of happy with the matchup, just because you have these two super farmed carries, or at least getting there, rather than having like 5 reasonably farmed heroes who can all just die to that. If the Lycan gets much bigger, maybe he can just run in and tank the combo, but we see again and again how hard it is to high ground this team. Sylar gonna BKB dodge, and oh, he's really chasing for this. I think he needs to back. Yeah, he's gonna give up.
He's completely alone, but
that was a little ballsy. A lot of kiting items outside the base on his own. It's tough for him to find the kills.
If Artcel's there, could look for a punish with like a glimpse kinetic field, but
as that BKB wears lower, it's going to get riskier and riskier to go for that kind of play.
So this is the time where LGD feel like, okay, we've got control. We now dictate the play. Normally it comes a lot early in the game, but it took a bit longer for Storm to come online. Wanted Bloodstone as well as the Orchid. Even the Lycan getting the BKB on top of the Necro 3 was important. So from here on out, as much as Na'Vi have the big teamfight wombo combo, LGD are going to be smoking around the map, trying to take objectives in at least safe fashion, and it feels like Na'Vi really have to just keep looking for that big teamfight combo.
They've shown they can pull it off.
Well, Funnick's getting scouted here in the jungle. Let's be careful. That's a long ball lightning.
The Wolves, they give the vision needed. Can Funnick pop the mech in time here? He will. Tries to retreat. Actually, now Guardian Greaves, but still pursued by maybe completely out of mana. Has one more ball with the regen, and Funnick, no escape for him. Now bottom lane. Action breaking out there as well. Call down was thrown out. They get the Shao Lina. A slight win there for LGD, getting a core for a supporter on the map. But looking for a bit more here. Dendy trying to hunt MMY, Lycan ult, gearing up and racing in potentially. Even his illusions are charging forward with rapid speeds, while maybe is finding kills to the south of the fight. Up to the north, it breaks out in earnest, starts out with the TP out, escapes from the snowball, which just turns tail towards the well. And God, did you see how fast that gyrocopter had his rotors just ripped off and plummeted to the ground? Man, he didn't last a second.
Yeah, and this bottom tier 2 tower probably not going to last too long at all. 3 Na'Vi heroes on the sidelines, and the push is coming and coming fast. This is problematic for Na'Vi. LGD just outmaneuvering them. Always seem to have a numbers advantage when they take a fight, and they're just splitting Na'Vi up. They're not really committing to like one place on the map. They're not fighting around choke points. They're not fully grouping up as 5. They're forcing Na'Vi to spread, and
they're really having trouble just corralling the Storm and the Lycan. These two they're so mobile, especially the Storm of maybe. You have quote-unquote counters on paper, but just not the most mobile ones. They don't have a Hex yet. Your Disruptor's relatively poor, sitting at only, well, actually extremely poor, sitting at, it was elite gold for a moment, now just 1,344. Tough to wrangle him. Here comes the Lycan ult. Once again, it's online. It's up a lot at this stage of the game. And again, the jump in, maybe onto Funnick. They do have a Static Storm, and they drop it, but it's a complete airball from Artstyle. This gives LGD the freedom to rush forward. More objectives are the goal. They may not even wait for the next Roche. With those kills, looking
silence.
for more. Are they even going to find Dendy, who throws himself up in the air? Can he blink out in time? No, the Echo! That's all, nothing else! One by one, Na'Vi fall like a house of cards, collapsing under the weight of the LGD onslaught, who look to continue rampaging through Group A. It's LGD at Secret, neck and neck here down the stretch, as they will force out the GG, sweep Na'Vi 2-0, and with this loss, Guts, Na'Vi 100% to the lower bracket for them. They are going to need some serious plans to make their way forward from here.
Yeah, for Na'Vi in the main event, they'll be putting their life at stake in a best-of-1 lower bracket match. That's going to be tough, and they've had some signs of brilliance throughout this group stage. The consistency just hasn't been there, but started off today pretty strong, but yeah, I mean,